and you can see the arbiter asking them to make the first few moves. So e4 is already on the board, c5, knight comes out, e6, d4 takes, knight c6, knight c3. We have the Sicilian, and after d6 f4, g4 h6, we have an opening where black is a little bit passive. Takes on d4, queen takes, g7 is hanging, e5 is played, the queen comes back, and bishop comes out. So this is the starting position. They keep the paper on the side. This is actually the famous game of Karpov versus Kasparov, which continued with the moves now knight d5, rook c8, c3, knight f6, takes, and here queen takes was played, just to show you how the game continued. Take, and in the end the game Kasparov and Karpov ended in a draw. You can see the players have 2 minutes to think through here about what they want to do in this position, and this was the game where the draw was agreed. So this is how it all transpired. Let's go back to the position here after bishop e6, and now the players have to think on their own. It's 15 minutes plus 10 seconds increment. This is the Casablanca variant, which basically connects the past masters, the past greats, to the present greats. And you can see the focus with which Hikaru is sitting, and Magnus as well. They are thinking, and now the arbiter comes and switches on the clock. Hikaru is instantly ready with his move. He plays his knight to d5. Now notice the threat that is created with bishop b6 and knight c7. So Magnus instantly plays rook c8, and he's saying to Hikaru, if you play bishop b6, I have queen d7. And now c3 played. Hikaru gets up from his chair and sits back. And Magnus Carlsen now is thinking. He plays knight f6. Excellent move there. Very important move, while Hikaru takes the bishop. Now queen takes was played, as we remember, in the game by Kasparov. Will Magnus play that? No, he actually takes it with his king. And Magnus realizes that g5 is an idea. And while Hikaru plays it, his queen is now connected with the rook. Knight jumps in, attacking the bishop on e3. Hikaru wants to move the bishop away. He plays his bishop back to c1. The position is equal right now. Now Magnus takes. Very important to push the knight away and then take this with the bishop. The position is roundabout even. But this is an important moment. But Hikaru makes an error. He plays bishop f3, and you can see Magnus there. He knows something's gone wrong, because now although the knight is attacked, it can actually be defended with the queen connecting the rooks, and the king on e7 is so beautifully placed. Magnus plays it, queen to d7, rook g1, attacking the knight for the 4th time, and the knight goes to h2, takes on g5, check, and Magnus plays pawn to f6. The bishop has to move back. So it does move back to e3, unleashing an attack on the g7 pawn. I'm interested to see what Magnus does here, because now the knight on h2 is a little bit weirdly placed, but he says there's no problem. He comes back. If he tries to save his bishop here to e2, then the h4 pawn is hanging, and that's why h5 played, takes, queen takes is on the board. And now you can see black is clearly better. Queen b5, Magnus attacking b2 pawn, also threatening to come into d3. And Hikaru in big trouble here. He's not played nothing like what Anatoly Karpov has done, and his position is almost losing here. Bishop e3. He moves his bishop back, and Magnus, beautiful move, attacking the h5 pawn. The pressure that Magnus is putting on his opponent is immense. Rook h1 played, defending the pawn, and Magnus goes queen a4. He's looking at the c2 square. He's looking at the e4 square. Queen comes back, trying to defend. How does black continue to put pressure? d5, breaking in the center. Again, a great move. E takes d5. He takes with the bishop, and now rook comes up to h2. White is somehow surviving, but now queen c6. Fantastic move again, threatening bishop f3. He pushes his pawn, trying to create play against the king. But look at his own pieces. The bishop on c1, the rook on a1, undeveloped and still on their initial squares. Magnus will punish this. Rook takes, bishop takes, but how exactly after fe5? Magnus needs to find an excellent move here. Can he do so? Well, he does it. Rook e8. What a move now. You can see how the rook has lined up against the queen and the king. The queen has to move away. But now after king f7, which defends the pawn there, bishop e3, e5 is hanging. Just have a look at this. This bishop does not let the white king castle. Rook e5 played. King comes up. But now with queen d5 check, look at Magnus. He knows the writing is on the wall. He knows his win is right there. Queen d5 check played. And now the king has to move away. If you go king c2, there is already a queen e4 check. So he goes king c1. But now the bishop can be chopped off. And queen d1 is a mate. He takes it. Hikaru resigns. Magnus Carlsen has won